Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the Carla Murphy Show, Uniquely Different, where our themes are family, community, Christianity, and business. We look forward to gelling with you. So we say, let's grow, earn, and learn together. We're excited for this show today, and it's going to be amazing. We have some phenomenal women who are here who are going to share on various topics. And without any delay, we are really ready to begin, and we're ready to hear from a special woman in the Rochester, New York area. We're honored to have with us legislator Sabrina Lamar, who is a Democrat. She's represented the city of Rochester's 19th Ward. The Honorable Sabrina Lamar has been a representative of the 27th District in the Monroe County Legislature and has served on the legislature's Public Safety and Human Services Committees. Ms. Lamar is an advocate for development without displacement, and her vision is that residents become the beneficiaries of their community's economic growth. Legislator Sabrina Lamar is also committed to the city of Rochester. She runs programs such as and is participant in Saving Our Youth. She's going to talk to us a bit about gun violence in Rochester, New York. And we are so happy to have the Honorable Legislator Sabrina Lamar. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, and thank you, Miss Carla Murphy, for giving me this opportunity to speak to the community and to share with the other panelists on how I am uniquely different. So once again, thank you. I appreciate it, and I look forward to sharing.
Thank you. So, Ms. Sabrina, I know that you are active in the community, not only in government, but you also do a lot of things. So why don't you share a bit with the viewers and the listeners about you and what you do?
Okay, so I'm Sabrina Lamar. I'm born and raised in Rochester, a product of the city school district, especially Josh Lofton. And if anyone is from Rochester, you know what they used to say about Josh Lofton. But I am proof that alternative schools and good teachers can really catapult people to fulfill their full potential. I have two children. I have two grandchildren. I just had a granddaughter born last week on Sunday. I'm so excited. I haven't been able to see her yet because of the virus, but I'm looking forward. I've been FaceTiming her, and I'm looking forward to spending time with my grandchildren as soon as possible. So I'm a part of the Monroe County Legislature. There are 29 legislators in Monroe County. Our responsibilities are to write, implement, and pass legislation that affects everyone, all 275,000 people in Monroe County. It's been a whirlwind. I've been on the legislature for almost 3 years. I was appointed back in 2019, and then I won the election in 2019 as well, and started my full term at the beginning of 2020. We could have never saw the pandemic coming during that time, but the pandemic really exposed some injustices that's been happening in our county forever. And it really gave us an opportunity, a few of us in the legislature, an opportunity to really start digging our heels into what some of the issues that our community face, and start really digging our heels into how we start to remedy those situations. In May of last year, when I say we, there was about 4 of us that broke away from the traditional Democratic caucus, and formed sort of a sub-caucus called the Black and Asian Caucus. I am currently the assistant minority leader of that caucus. And I know that may not sound like a big thing, but hey, Monroe County has never had a Black woman who was the assistant leader or the minority or the majority leader. So I'm very excited about being a part of Monroe County's history. More importantly, the breakaway from the caucus was necessary, right? Because, you know, for years we have people who don't represent our communities. And when I say that, we have people in the legislature who talk about things like dog parks and bike lanes and all those. So although those things are important, those aren't some of the issues that I hear my constituents saying when I'm at their doors. And so, you know, jobs and healthcare and violence and food disparities, those are some of the top issues that plague our community. And so we felt like we needed to break away from the caucus in order for our voices to be heard. And that was probably the best thing that could have happened to our county in the last 40 or 50 years.
Wow, that's great. So I do have a question for you, Legislator Lamar. What made you want to become a government official?
Oh my God. So like there's no real answer for that, right? Because, you know, sometimes, you know, they say that if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, right? And so, you know, I went to school for business administration, and I worked in finance for 20 years. And so I have all this financial background, but I have so many ties to the communities. We weren't rich growing up, and we benefited from a lot of community programs. My family benefited from a lot of community programs, including my parents migrating from the South up here and being a part of Genesee Settlement House and the Charles Settlement House, those locations in our city. And so I've always went to the rec center. So I'm tied to this community. So that's the community tie for me. But when I was around 12 and my brother was 18, he was murdered. He was actually an innocent bystander. And during that time, when I think back over that time span, there weren't any services for people like the 12-year-old sister, or for my mother, or for my father. And so once I started to dig down into some of the issues that I was facing, and I was able to tie it back to that particular situation, I just felt compelled to just start doing stuff in the community. Like, this is where I'm most comfortable at. 2 + 2 is always going to be 4, whether I'm there or not. So there's no real impact that you can really, for me, there was no real impact that I could have on the financial world. But I knew that just by my spirit and my dedication, that I could make a difference in this community and enjoy and love doing what I'm doing.
So that's wonderful. I'm grateful that you've made the sacrifice to serve, because you do have to have a heart for service, and that's truly what you're doing. Can you talk to us a little bit about saving our youth?
So Saving Our Youth is just really one of our community partners. I actually run a project through RIT, which is Rochester Institute for Technology, called CERV, and that's CERV. And that stands for Community Engagement to Reduce Victimization. And what the goal is in this project is to reduce near-term retaliatory gun violence. And what that looks like is when victims arrive at the hospital and they suffer from a gunshot wound, there are a multitude of things that happen while they're experiencing that trauma. And so my responsibility is to collaborate with community partners to sort of dispatch them to the hospital to create safety plans for these individuals. So when they leave the hospital, they're not retaliating, or they're not back up on the crime scene before the tape is even taken down. And so sometimes that includes like putting them up in a safe place where they could sort of have a cool down period, or it may look like moving them out of the state, or it may look like finding emergency housing for them. So there are a number of ways to create safety plans. And in the interim, also, we have what we call credible messengers, and that's people who have ties to the streets. And the goal is to have them out in the streets, working with their connections to sort of mediate the situations that are going on in the street. So we're trying to attack violence from 2 ends. We're trying to make sure that the victim isn't out there retaliating, and we're trying to see if we can dissolve some of the beef that's going on in the street, so that at least for that dispute, it won't continue on.
Thank you so much, Legislator Lamar. We appreciate all of the work that you do, the phenomenal leadership that you give, And we're looking forward to greater and greater, and many thoughts and prayers for your safety as you do a difficult work. And so we thank you so much for taking the time to come on and share with the Carla Murphy Show, for truly you are uniquely different. Your service is uniquely different. And we know that you're going to just go higher and higher and higher in government service as you lead the people and you serve the people. So again, thank you so much. Be safe out there. And until we meet again, take care.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. Wow. So many people serving in so many different capacities, and it takes everyone working together to make things happen. So that was awesome to hear from Monroe County Legislator, the Honorable Sabrina Lamar. Next up, we have another magnificent servant by the name of Miss Deborah Bullard. She is the corresponding secretary for the Great Lakes Baptist District Association. She is a supervisor with the young people for the Great Lakes Baptist District Association, as well as in the Empire Baptist Missionary Convention of New York State, Incorporated. She is a part of the women's ministry for both of those organizations. She's a choir member at her church. I've seen her work with the culinary staff. She is just what you call a wonderful servant. She has a spirit of giving and sharing, supporting, and leading. And Miss Deborah Bullard is going to talk to us today about an upcoming fundraiser that we can all get on board and support. She is a part of a Queen contest. So good evening, Ms. Deborah Bullard. Good evening.
First and foremost, to God, who is first, second, third, everything. He is everything, the sustainer of my life. Amen. I give honor to him. To Carla Murphy, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you about the Great Lakes Baptist Association Women's Department Queen Contest. I also would like to say, in the absence of our moderator, I would like to say greetings to Dennis Lee Jr. and to President Rose Harmon, who thought it was not robbery to choose me as to be the representative for the women's ministry. Now, the Great Lakes Baptist Association has many entities. It is a faith-based Christian organization. And being one of the representatives for the women ministry, I like to say I will serve wherever I need to. Being that said, being a representative for the Queen Contest, it is to help our organization, whether it is for scholarship, education, Christian education, or for being tangible, where we can help someone that's in foreign mission. Now, the Queen Contest I'm in, I have supported this ministry for many, many women that came before me. And I'm just asking for the community, for the women and the brethren, to please help support me in this donation, which is, I'm just asking for $10. $10. I'm asking to donate for me, whether I win or lose. It is an experience that I'm just happy to do, because that serving the Lord is going to pay off after a while.
Yes, it will.
Now you can help me by donating. I have a Cash App. It is $ brass belt. That is $ BRASSBELT. And I would love for you to support me. You know, Sister Scribbling will always say, I like to win, So I'm just asking that please support me in this endeavor. And Carla, you are also part of our association. I would just like to put that plug in there for you too. You are the director of our young people ministry. So we all are connected in different ways. And this is something that we have to do differently this year because of the pandemic. So we will be doing this on video on Zoom. So that's why I'm just asking for a donation. Usually we would have to go out and do, different fundraisers, different programs. But since it is the pandemic, we have to make sure everybody's safe. So I'm asking once again, the sisters, the brothers, the community, please help me win the Queen Contest for Great Lakes Baptist Association. Now you pray for me and I surely will pray for you. And again, Carla Murphy, thank you for this opportunity. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Deborah. We're excited about the Queen Contest that's coming. And certainly, yes, we're a part. And we look forward to supporting you. And so, Miss Deborah, I would like to know, and for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers, and especially our young people, and when I say our young people, not just children, but young adults alike, how does one work towards becoming a part of a Queen Contest?
Well, it is being in the organization and not only in the Baptist Association, but in your church, volunteering. I also used to volunteer for our church when the pandemic wasn't, here. We gave out food, to the community. For those who were hungry, we gave out food, not only food, but clothing, things to help people. And you don't have to be, this big, blown out or accolades. Just be a child of God and serve the Lord. Because what I said before, serving the Lord will pay off after a while.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I feel better just hearing those words. Yes, it does pay off. And we know that only what you do for Christ will last. And so
that's the truth.
That's the truth. I'm so grateful. Yes. And so, Miss Deborah, I know that not only do you volunteer in the community, but I know that you're a strong supporter of family. I know that you're a strong supporter, particularly of sisterhood. And I'm not leaving the men out, but I'm talking about sisterhood today and right now. And so when it comes to being in community, being with the family, being in business, being supportive, what are some things that you can do to have healthy relationships?
Sister Murphy, I would like to say that whether you're a family member or not, I can say that I saw a need in a young lady. She's not related to me, but I saw a need in her, and it was laid on my heart to help her. Do you know she turned around and gave me flowers and balloons for Mother's Day? I was not expecting it, but that's what God does for you. When you do something, not looking for something in return, that's what the Lord, He will bless you double fold. And so whether it's someone in my family or a non-member, I like to lift a person up. I like to give them that sound advice to love each other as God has loved you, from heart to heart, to breast to breast. We have to make sure that our young ladies grow up to be someone that the community and you and I can look up to. And that's what I love to do.
Well, you're doing a phenomenal job, and thank you so much for coming and sharing on the Carla Murphy Show. For truly, you are uniquely different. You're not a stranger to us, and we're just thankful that you take the time to come and be a part, because it's nothing like encouraging one another. And not only are we encouraging others with our kind words and deeds, but certainly we're an encouragement to ourselves. And so we thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing that crown I'm looking forward to it sparkling and glowing. And so we support you, and we're looking forward to our community and our viewers being able to support. And once again, for the viewers and the listening audience, Miss Deborah Bullard, will you please share the Cash App information and also when is the event?
Okay, it is $ brass belt. That's $BRASSBELT. The event will be in September, so we have a couple of months to raise the funds. So it will be at our last session, our last annual session. So get all the money raised that I can turn it and like I said, whether I win or lose, it is something that's very dear to my heart to help support our organization.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing that crown. We're looking forward to hearing some updates. We're looking forward to talking about this event between now and September. For truly, we want to keep it in the forefront of people's minds. And so for only $10, you can sponsor Ms. Deborah, help to sponsor her in winning the Queen contest. And truly, the resources are there to help. They're there to help. They're there to educate. They're there to enrich people, to enlighten them, and to just help to lighten the load for them. So it's a blessing to be a blessing. And we're looking forward to celebrating you in September, Miss Deborah Bullard. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Miss
Murphy. God bless.
God bless you too. Miss Samara Baker, are you there? Hi, Miss Samara.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. We know this young lady as one who has been our praise dancer on the Carla Murphy Show, Uniquely Different. And we thought it not robbery to hear from her today as she shares about her amazing journey, as she talks about work after graduation and working during the pandemic. She is one who is very active in her community. She's active in her church. She's a loving daughter, a loving sister, and a beloved friend. And we are just happy to hear from Miss Samara, who is going to share. We know that she is a professional in her own right. She has studied, she is qualified, and we look forward to hearing from you. So Miss Samara Baker, take us a little bit higher as we hear about work after graduation and working during the pandemic.
I graduated from SUNY Brockport from the Alcoholic Substance Abuse Program, and I was in 2020, and I was aspiring to become an alcoholic substance abuse counselor for my first step, because my ultimate goal is to become a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
Wow.
So when I graduated, well, let me backtrack a little bit. So in my internship, I wasn't focused on trying to get hired. I was just focusing on trying to absorb as much knowledge as I can. I went through the villains department, reception. I studied with the counselors. Even though I don't speak Spanish, I even went into the Spanish program and like seen how they ran their groups. And I was just trying to get knowledge from everywhere. I looked at insurances, working with individuals from DSS, probation and parole. I just tried to get as much knowledge as possible. So when I graduated after my internship, I was able to get my KSAT-C. However, I didn't apply for my KSAT-C because once you start, the clock starts ticking and you only have 3 years before you have to take your exam and you need to get all these hours in. So I graduated and I was applying for so many jobs, like constantly, but I was kind of worried because at the time, a lot of people were getting laid off. This was right after the shutdown happened for Corona. So I was really, really nervous. Like, I have this degree. The place I need to be isn't even open. They're barely hiring. Like, so I went into a panic attack. But then I had to remind myself, like, if it's God will, nobody can take that away from me, no matter what. So I had to just like pray about it and say, Lord, maybe I'm not applying to the places you want me to be or where you need me to be. So, if it's meant for me, then you guide me. And that was my prayer. And then I was like, you know what, let me go the nursing route because I need an RN so that I could become a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So I went and started. I got hired as a CNA, and then while I'm like in my CNA and getting accustomed to that, I get a call from my internship site. And this was in November, and they was like, "Hey, Samara," and I'm like, "Hi," and they're like, "Well, we have a position open. Do you want to come interview for it?" So I was like, "Yeah," but at the time, I haven't seen them since June. So I was really surprised that they called me and asked me to come interview. So I went there and I explained to them, like, you know, I didn't fill out my KSAT application, like I didn't send it in. And they were just like, well, come on board with us. And we'll start you off here. Once you send the application in, we'll give you a raise, and then we'll keep working with you until you get to where you need to be. But we'll hire you. So I was so excited. They really worked around me because at the time I had a contract with my other job saying I had to be there full time for a year. So I immediately started working, and I started working 7 days a week. Monday through Thursday, I started working at my job as an alcoholic substance abuse counselor. And every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was working as a CNA. So, well, the place I work as an alcoholic substance abuse counselor is Beta Street. So when I first went to Beta, only thing I knew about it was the teen center. But working there, I learned that and through my internship, they have so much to offer, like the counseling program, EFA, which is Emergency Family Assistance, the Honey program. They have so many programs within the community to help literally everyone, which I think is amazing. And that's one thing that continues to inspire me. But while working at Beta and while it was in the pandemic, it was a little bit challenging because a lot of clients need to be in face to face, and that helps to keep them on track. But due to the pandemic, we were working from home. So at first we started working. I was working from home 2 days a week, and then eventually, but we weren't doing any group sessions. And then we had for about 2 months, I had to work from home completely 100%, which was very new for me. And then it was challenging because I'm trying to get a contact with people via telephone. People's phone numbers change, and then something happens, or they can't get in contact with me, or they're working. And then so it was really challenging at first, but it was definitely an experience, and it only made me want to work harder to aspire to my goals, because working from home and doing sessions via telepractice, it made me realize that there's a lot of people, and a lot of people I work with are my peers in the same age as me, and a lot of them need help. But especially when it comes to mental health, and it's such a large stigma around mental health, where people think that you have to be quote unquote crazy in order to get help, when really the same way you go to the doctor if something's wrong with you physically, you go to mental health if something's wrong, with your mind. And it doesn't have to be something bad. Sometimes you just need to get stuff off your chest. And a lot of times I feel like with working with my peers, that's what it is. We don't have too many people that we feel comfortable talking to. So a lot of people come in and they just like, it feels refreshing to have someone my age and have the same experience as me, and that actually looks like me, to be able to go and do other things. So a lot of times I just like to share my experience, like, you can do it. It's never too late. And then I assist a lot of people with, filling out housing applications and college applications and things like that, because everybody thinks the pandemic's going on, I can't get hired here, I can't get hired there. And then they have a lot of challenges with being people of color on top of that. So a lot of times I just find creative ways to help them, get through the barriers.
Yeah. That's an amazing journey. And for young people who may face some challenges when trying to fulfill their dreams, what advice can you give to them?
Never give up. Just because it's not happening now does not mean it's not going to happen later. It just may not be the moment right now, but never give up. Keep pushing, keep pursuing. They can only say no so many times before they say yeah. So just keep going, keep pressing on.
That's amazing. So, Miss Tamara, I know that you also have time to volunteer in the community. Do you find it helpful and for mental health and for physical health? Do you find it healthy to be involved with others outside of the work environment?
Honestly, for me, I'm an introvert. So I need my alone time. I need time to just be one with myself. So after, like, I work for my 7 days, I need to have at least one day to engage in self-care activities before I go and start volunteering in the community. Because if you constantly give, and you're never replenishing yourself, eventually you're gonna run out of stuff to give. So I think you just have to, everyone has to find a balance. Everyone knows what, I know what I can handle, just like you know what you can handle. We may can handle different things. So I think you just really have to find a balance.
That's very, very powerful right there. You do have to find a balance, and we are all uniquely made, and we know that there is a perfect timing for each of us, and we're not made by cookie cutters. And so therefore, it's wonderful that you're able to share that part of your story, because oftentimes we hear about go, 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 join this, join that, be a part of this, be a part of that. And I too understand what it means to be able to have some alone time, to be able to focus on yourself, to be able to pour into yourself, because it's important that we work on our health emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. All of those pieces come into play. And so I know that when it comes down to life, it's important for us to keep God in his rightful place, to keep our family, to keep our friends, and ultimately then we can help community. But for all of us and for each of us and for everyone, our communities are all those who are around us. And so, Ms. Tamara, thank you for being a shining light in your community. I've seen you shine in your family. I've seen you shine in your church. And I'm hearing how you shine on your job. So thank you so much for all that you do. Stay encouraged. Continue to encourage others, for you have a powerful story that can help to transform others' lives. So thank you for the work and the service that you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Next up, we are very excited about this next guest. We know her to be one who is active in the Rochester, New York community. We know her to be one who is committed to service. We know this person to be one by the name of Miss Lillian Knight Faison. She is a Toastmaster leader. She's worn many hats in her life. She's worked in the careers of nursing, law enforcement, and she's a clown. From working as a nurse, a police officer, or a clown, Ms. Lillian Knight Faison has always infused a great deal of energy into everything that she does. She is the past Toastmasters District 65 Director. It's a region which includes more than 2,000 members in Western and Central New York. She has volunteered at 103.9 WDKX Radio, which is the first Black-owned radio station in upstate New York. Ms. Lillian Knight Faison is described as one who has a warm disposition and organizational skills that keep her on top of the game. I am very excited to have Miss Lillian with us this evening. It warms my heart in so many ways, particularly since she's been a police officer. My father is a retired homicide detective sergeant in the Buffalo, New York area. And so law enforcement officials have a special, special, special place in my heart. So I say to you, thank you for all that you've done to protect and to serve. For truly, I don't take it lightly. I've had an opportunity to walk in some of those shoes in different capacity than perhaps you have, but it's an awesome task when you are willing to protect and to serve. So good evening to Miss Lillian Knight Faison, Sunny Hope, who is going to talk to us this evening and bring us some cheer and spread some joy. Hi. Take it away, Miss Lillian. Miss Lillian?
Yeah, I was on a roll there. Now I have to repeat it. But I wanted to thank you so much for having me again to share Sunny Hope. And Brenda, thank you for the call to reach out to me to have this opportunity. What a pleasant and beautiful surprise. So how did I get here? Sunny Hope. 6 years ago, I graduated from clown school on April 1st, and that was 7 years ago. So I went to an official clown school. And what I share with people is one of the motivations that drove me there is I've been a nurse for 41 years. Being a nurse can be very stressful. There are beautiful moments, but there's also a lot of stress. And so I used to joke with my coworkers and say, after a really hard day, I'd say, I'm just going to go be a clown, because I wanted to laugh. I wanted to lift my spirits. And I know I'm not alone in this. I do suffer from depression sometimes. And I had to find ways to lift my spirits up. So I put it out there to God and the universe, and I met a clown, and I went to her house and Grease Paint Alley Clowns, and she let me know when the next clown class was. I graduated. We had an official graduation in Greasetown Mall, and we had ice cream at, I think it was Burger King at the time. So what I found being as a clown, and as you mentioned before too, I am a Toastmaster. So being a clown helped me not to take myself so serious. It helped me to be more expressive. Embarrassing moments, not so embarrassing. And then as I evolved and grew in this, I found that when I was in clown as Sunny Hope, someone could be in a miserable mood, their face all down. But then when they would see me, the whole energy of the room would change. So clowning to me goes deeper than me just dressing up. It is a way of life. And many of my friends now will say, this is Lillian and she's a clown. Sometimes they don't even say my first name. They'll say, she's a clown. So I really consider that as a compliment. This journey has been amazing because I've been able to take it to my workplace and visit the residents through the recreation department, dressed up as Sunny Hope, play little games, make balloon flowers and animals, and it just changes that environment's whole energy. And what we've done lately during the pandemic, because when the pandemic came, I just shut down. I was like, how am I gonna dress up? How am I gonna be a clown? But necessity showed me how. And my coworkers, I started doing at work, wearing purples and greens and little headbands and funny glasses to work, sparkly shoes. And then I had another playmate coworker that said, why don't we just dress up on Fridays? Stripe Day, Superhero Day, mismatch clothes, Twin Day. And so that took off at work. And what I found was when my coworkers got together, and we'd run and we'd take pictures and then we'd post them on Facebook. But when they got together, it was a whole nother energy. So clowning has been a mission for me. It is a way that has, in essence, saved my life because I've been able to express myself in a different way and also become a better communicator in seeing the power that laughter, smiling, just having a good time has. And I want that. I want more of that. And that is contagious. So even sometimes if people don't join me, I've gone to Wegmans dressed like this. Sometimes I forget I'm even dressed like this. I'm like, oh my God, what the heck are they staring at? And it's because I'm in clown. So clowning also is a ministry. In the Bible Belt, they have clown ministries where clowns are on staff to go into the hospitals and perform for schools to uplift and to teach the Bible. They have competitions, best makeup, best skit, best group activity. And the clowning organization I belong to, they're members from all over the world.
Wow.
And we have conferences. So, and I've gone to several, and that's where vendors will get together and you can buy a lot of neat stuff like this and glasses and energy. I mean, just a whole lot of different camaraderie and being together. Then too, you don't feel like you're the only one running around, you know, looking like this. But it's been a joy. And what I've done is I started an agency, which is called Sunny Hope Umbrella Agency, which will encompass clowning, it will encompass nursing, it will encompass marketing, anything that I want to do. And my husband, he kind of teases me a little bit when I say, oh, I got this project over here. He goes, I know, under the umbrella, because that's the name of the agency, Sunny Hope Umbrella. And that's for whatever I want to do. My brother is an artist and I helped him market his art. We had a couple of art shows. So I want to be multidimensional and be able to help and not be locked up in a box, because that's me and that's my personality. You know that. I like to keep it mixed up. And I thank you for having me. And what a beautiful, beautiful surprise when Brenda said, hey, I'm like, of course Sunny Hope wants to be on.
Thank you so much. This has been so exciting. I just feel like I'm missing out. I don't have balloons. I don't have a balloon flower to post with me. So we'll have to work on that.
No worries.
I thank you so much for coming and sharing. And I know that there's some children out there that are going to go crazy when they see Sunny Hope. So we're looking forward to more times of working together, partnering, and sharing, for truly you spread joy wherever you go. Pleasant personality and a beautiful smile. And so I'm just looking forward to you continuing to brighten up the lives of many, especially on the Carla Murphy Show, Uniquely Different. Thank you again for sharing.
So much. I'll see everyone later.
Yes. We'll see you later. Our next guest is an amazing woman from the Rochester, New York area. She is one who is just very active in her community. She's active in her church and in her ministry. We know her as Miss Martha Hope. She's the president and CEO of the Wisdom Circle of Hope for senior people of color ages 55 and older. Miss Martha Hope is the host of Real Talk with Martha Hope on WFRZ 106.3 FM radio. She is a retired Monroe County case management supervisor who remains active in several nonprofit organizations, her church, and she serves on several boards. Martha holds certifications in human research, human behavior, leadership, nonprofit board policies, Christian counseling, and domestic violence. Ms. Martha Hope also is the president of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs Incorporated in Rochester, New York, where she serves in sisterhood, and we are grateful to have connected. I know her from the Christian Friendship Baptist Church in the Rochester, New York area, and she's been truly, truly a blessing. We're looking forward and waiting with great anticipation to hear from you, Miss Martha Hope, as you talk to us this evening about senior living in your own way. So good evening and welcome again to the Carla Murphy Show.
Good evening, Carla. I am so honored to be on the Carla Murphy Show. I was calling people. I said, now, you know, I'm going to be on the Carla Murphy Show this evening. I want somebody to listen and watch. But I'm honored to be on your show tonight. And I want to talk a little bit about seniors. Seniors are my passion, along with young women. But tonight, I want to talk about seniors. And I want seniors to know, just because we reach a certain age, Carla, it does not mean that our life is over. We can still look good. We can wear little short dresses if we want to. You know, back in the day, you couldn't do that. But it's a new day. I want us to have a new attitude. I want us to know that we have wisdom, that we have been there and done that. And if we have not done that, we know someone that has done that. So I want us to start looking at seniorhood. That's what I call it. I want us to start looking at seniorhood as a benefit, as something that God has blessed us with. Because we know scripture tell us if you live on the other side of 70, we're living on borrowed time, that he is blessing us. Yeah. And so I'm living on borrowed time right now. And I tell my kids, I may only have 23 years left, because you know what? I believe the Lord gonna let me live till I'm 100, because he said so. If I ask, he did it for Hezekiah, he'll do it for me. So I want them to know that we have to prepare though, because what happens is when we hit that 50 mark, people go crazy, especially women. But let me just tell you this. I've interviewed a few men, and when they get to be 40, they start talking about being old. Well, we're not old at 50. We have come to a point in our lives that we know a little more. And you think to yourself, if I had known then what I know now, it wouldn't be like that. But it wasn't supposed to be like that. It's not a part of the plan. The journey is about us learning, and wherever the Lord has us leading to that next step, to that next dimension. I lost my husband, as I told you once before, after 60 years together as childhood sweethearts, and married 53 years when he passed away. So I don't really know how to date, because it's somewhat of an art. When you're young, you don't think about the art of dating. Maybe men do, but we don't. If he's cute, we like him. You know, if he gives us flowers or something, or say something nice to you, we like them. But there's work along the journey. And I think that old people or older people or seniorhood, we have something to contribute. We have wisdom. And I took a time to look at the way society looks at us. Okay, when you retire, what happens? The best you can do, they don't want to keep you on the job after 65, so don't even try it. You know, if there's any downsizing or anything, we're it. It's going to be that way. So you either sit home and rock and complain if you don't get involved, or you get a job at Walmart, smiling and helping people to have a good day. But I'm saying that there's so much out there to do. And that's what the Wisdom Circle is about, that we come together once a month. We talk about the resources. We talk about what's going on with us. So far, we've talked about COVID. Why aren't you getting a COVID shot? You're taking medicine that we know it's a trial. You've never taken it before, and your doctor says it's all right to take it. And we know that I just will put myself in, age is more than a number. I know that we say that phrase all the time, that age is just a number. It is not. We get the wrinkles, we get the gray hair, we get the thinning in our hair, we get our joints and our muscles ache, our hearing, we tend to lose it at a certain age. And so it's more than a number, but we can deal with that. We can work with that. It's about thinking positive. It's about socializing, because one of the things that I found working with seniors, for seniors that are terribly lonely, those are seniors that will not or refuse to socialize. Now, I know our church has been closed for a little bit. I understand that. And we know as a people, that's where the socializing is. Because we're just talking about, even with our youth, and you know this, Carla, even with our youth, that's where you learn to be a leader.
That's right.
Right in the church. That's where you guys stand up and say that speech on Christmas, And Easter, somebody like yourself or like any of us, like Deborah, has worked with those children in the youth department, and they learn to speak, they learn how to conduct themselves. And the mothers in the church, I had a mother tell me one time, excuse me, Sister Schofield, because she a lot older than me, and you know you call her sister somebody or something like that, right? And she said, don't you come in here in this church without no stockings on no more. But what was she teaching me? She was teaching me there's a difference than a church lady and a woman outside the church. I mean, they had their ways of teaching us. We didn't understand because you know that you think you know everything. I can see myself sitting on the back bench with other young girls with my little pocketbook with gum in it. But we had a usher in our church. She'd tap you. My daughter is saying her name now, Sister Simmons. She would tap you on the mouth. She probably tapped my daughter on the mouth, okay? She said, oh no, she didn't. But she tapped you on the mouth, and if you don't, and be putting her finger on the fan, give me that gum out. You know you don't chew gum in church. This is the Lord's house. So we learned on the journey how to be obedient. There was so much we learned in the church. And we took that right into adulthood, right into adulthood. So we have a lot to offer. Those older ladies, I don't know about mothers of the church now. I'm not a mother, but I don't know. I only know about how the mothers were back then, Carla. And they were strict, and they didn't, I don't know if they cuss or what they were doing on the outside, but we do know. And some of them were mean, you know that, but we couldn't figure it all out back then. But as you get grown, as you pass that 50 mark, you start to acquire that wisdom. And so that's what we do in the wisdom circle. What we do is try to share that wisdom through storytelling, through resources, through just getting together and socializing. Because we have to be careful about our memory, because there's times when I don't know what I did with my keys. There are times when somebody comes up to me and they'll say, how are you doing, Martha? How are you doing, Sister Hope? And I'd be thinking to myself, they're just calling my name. Lord, help me here. Who is that? What is that lady's name? So we have to be careful of that, because we're talking about dementia, and our people as a whole, when it comes to mental health, we've kind of set it aside and not acknowledged it. Not good. When you start to leave the stove on, leave the car running with the keys, and those things happen. Leave things boiling on the stove until all the water boils out and that kind of thing. We have to start looking at that as a person. And those are things that we talk about, dementia and Alzheimer's in our wisdom group. So as I said, it's a passion for me. I want to give them whatever I have to offer. And with the young people's part of it, our young girls, and when I say young girls, I do have a part of that circle is from 18 to 30. We just had a 30-year-old join probably a couple of years, not even a couple of years ago. And we talk about relationships. We talk about relationships. So you'd be surprised that young women are not sure about relationships. And were we there one time? Yes, we were. But the Lord help us get through it. And so now we can tell somebody else. We can tell a young girl about it. Now look, baby, so and so and so. Just like the old women used to talk to us. Now look, baby, if it's not going this way or that way, it's not for you. And to seek the Lord. And I can remember Sister Newsom saying, you got to seek the Lord first. Ask him about that man. You know, it just can't be, just because he look good, it doesn't mean it's good for you. So my thing is that we need to start to prepare for old age or for seniorhood. Okay, you're now 55 years old, do you have a will? Do you have a health proxy? Do you have a power of attorney? What is your housing situation going to be like in the next few years? Well, you know, I know that it sounds far off if you're 55, but guess what? According to statistics, 55 is the year. Of course, AARP will give you a membership at 50, but still you need to be looking at, where do I want to be? How do I want to be living? What is going to be expected of me when I get 65? Now I'm way over 65, but now I'm thinking about, what is my housing situation going to be like? So we talk about those things as well. Are my kids going to put me in a nursing home? No, because I told them they're not. I'm living with somebody, okay? I am not going to a nursing home. But there was a time when our folks did not put our older folks in the nursing home. They lived with somebody. So those are the things that we need to be talking about. And if you don't have a will, get one. If you don't have a health proxy, get one. A power of attorney, get one. Those are the things that we need to be doing and preparing for, because we don't know from day to day. The word tells us, just worry about today. I'll worry about tomorrow. He gave us dominion over much, did he not? But he didn't tell us what the future was going to be like. He didn't do that. So we've got to start to prepare, even though the Lord has worked the plan out for us, but he did give us a choice. So the Wisdom Circle is something that is growing. And I know it's only the Lord, it's not me. And people need to talk. People need to and want to come together, Carla, and talk about what's going on with them. And I am excited about the whole program. And I could talk all night. So you want to ask me questions, you can. I mean, I could continue to talk about it.
Well, Miss Martha, it's been so wonderful hearing from you and talking about seniorhood. It is certainly important that seniors be mindful of getting their business in order. It definitely helps, even at every stage of life, but particularly when people are seniors. And so, Miss Martha, as we prepare to close today, can you please tell us some contact information for the Women's Circle?
Of course I can. I can be contacted at email marthahope9@aol.com. And my phone number is area code 585-200-8402. And I will get back to you. I answer every call and every email. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an amazing, amazing show. And we're just so thankful to our viewers and the listening audience who's with us today. And we would like to thank all of our guests for coming and sharing on the Carla Murphy Show, for truly each of them have been uniquely different in their own way. And it's just a special day for us as Miss Samara Baker celebrates her birthday. And certainly we know that she is celebrating now, but she took time out of her busy day to come and share with us. And we know that she's going to have an amazing time because she is a phenomenal young woman. So happy birthday, Miss Samara Baker. I know she's listening and watching, and we're just thankful for her and all that she does. We're happy that this show has been sponsored by Uniquely Different Enterprises. We are very happy to be able to air on Uniquely Different TV network. And you can also see the shows on uniquelydifferently.com. And so we look forward to seeing you again on the next episode of the Carla Murphy Show, Uniquely Different. If you're looking to become featured, if you want to be a part of our spotlight or our showcase, please contact me, your host, Carla A. Murphy, at area code 716-553-3109. 716-553-3109. Or you can email me, Carla Murphy Uniquely Different at gmail.com. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day until we meet again. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.